Skinny penis. So that
like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 in the fly sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? You can slide with me if you feel like.
What's up? Welcome back. Hey girl, you matured some since the last time I've seen you. Mind if we jump into the tutorial? Got some good stuff for you today. So strap in, baby girl. You're not ready for this. Yo, this video is sponsored by Nostril Energy Drink. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this. Stick around so you can learn how you can actually buy a 10% stake in the company.
wow.
Alright, dope. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure you guys have seen this kind of freaking dingus berry.
Wow.
Alright, so that kind of probably seen this style a lot, skipping around the internet. Skipping around's a word. It's kind of getting blown up right now, so I thought I'd show you how to do it without any plugins and pretty easy. Not a lot of time consumed in this process that we're about to do it in, so it's kind of fun for the whole family.
Yeah, absolutely, family fun.
So we're going to be specifically looking at these 5 shots.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me.
I did these shots all manual with no plugins.
Wow.
Came pretty smooth. Let's see how we do it.
Would you like to see?
Yeah.
We're going to be looking at this clip first right here. Now this is what it originally looked like. The original clip, I'm still kind of getting that up and down motion. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and I didn't think I'd be doing a tutorial on this because Daniel Schiffer has a lot of great tutorials on this kind of movement. However, he does use plugins and trackers, and I'm a man of purity. I'm a man of God. And I don't use that shit. So I'm going to show you how to do it the all natural way. Because I like my effects all natural. Anyway, back to the point that I didn't get any behind the scenes of how I filmed this. So we're going to move this out of the way. And we're going to have good old Mini Orion come on and step in. And he'll be demonstrating the camera movements over here to show you parallel to what I was actually capturing on set. So you can see I was kind of tracking the ball with the camera movement as Mini Orion here is performing for you. So this kind of motion is what I was doing to kind of keep the ball somewhat in the center of the frame. And in my head, I knew that I want to transition with a slide down to the next shot. Smooth like butter. Can't believe it's not butter, but it wasn't. It was actually cow saliva. I was putting cow saliva on my toast this whole time. Also knew I was going to crop in a lot so I could track that motion. When tracking motion like that, you're going to have to plan to zoom in a bit so you have room to move around the frame. So when framing my shot, I kept that in mind and shot a little bit wider. So the first thing we're going to want to do is zoom in, because we're going to need that room in the frame to manipulate and keyframe the center point.
Yeah, you just said that.
Now, if you go to View and say Show Horizon, this is the key, sauce, my boys. So basically, we're going to make the ball the center point of this frame. Go ahead and hit the keyframe button. And we're going to go about every 2 frames, keeping the ball as close as we can to that center point. But when something like this happens where we keep the ball in the center but now we've gone too far, we can either zoom in more like that to get the appropriate placing. Yeah. We can just keep the ball in one of the crosshairs. So as you can see, it's still perfectly centered in the middle crosshair, not so much in the horizontal. But that's okay because I don't want to zoom in too much because I know how the ball moves, and if we zoom in too much, we're going to lose some of that headroom.
Wow.
So we're just going to do our best and keep the ball centered on at least one of the axes.
Axes.
So going every 2 frames, we're just going to adjust this, keeping the vertical line right in the center of the ball. Okay, awesome. So now that we've done this, it's looking a little something like this. Now a little pizzazz that we're going to add to it. I like to add this slide down effect, and you can find this in the link below. So we're going to add our slide down to that shot, and with a little bit of adjustment, this is what it's looking like. Add some lens flares and light leaks to it. Helps mask the slide a little bit more. Those are linked in the description below. Alright, so something really important about this style is matching the correct motion of shots. So we have that nice slide down, continuing into a slide down shot. But if we replace that second shot with something like this, you can see it won't work all that well. So that's something to keep, so that's something very important to keep in mind when shooting. Okay, so moving on, we transition into that nice slide down shot. And for this shot, I didn't even do anything. This was all in camera. Mini Orion here will show you the motion that I did to track this. Anyway, all I did was add a little bit of stabilization to it, and we're getting something like this. Alright, moving on. So like I said, I planned out that I knew I wanted to have him raising up and then transition to the weight coming up shot. So here's the original shot. Again, I did the best I could in camera to track the motion that I wanted. And here's kind of like what I looked like when I did that. So again, with this clip, we're going to go ahead and hit the show horizon. And for this, I wanted to keep his hand in the middle of the frame as much as I could. But then want to transition to the motion of the next weight to push through to the next shot. If we bring up my keyframes, I'm keeping the hand there, and then transitioning to that next shot. So repeating the process that we just did by using the crosshairs and keeping the motion in the center of the frame as much as possible. The last final touch is adding a little bit of motion blur to the final 4 frames or so. So we're gonna add some directional blur, bring it down to 0. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say right about here, where he lifts the weight, is where the motion blur is gonna kick in. So with the keyframe button, we'll go 1, 2, 3, and let's raise it up. A tad bit, it's around 13 or 12, in the direction that we want, maybe a little bit angled up. Boom. Now it's looking like this. Okay, so it's looking so like that.
God dang, was that a yarn, boy?
Yeah, kind of. Why?
You yarn, boy, need some natural energy drink.
No. That's good. Now we'll cut to the green screen stuff.
Natural energy. Natural energy. Wake up your nostrils. Wake up your nostrils. Hell yeah, brother. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Talking to you right now.
It's all freaking.
Hey, you talking? Feel that energy, boy. Nostrils great for any occasion. Nostril in the bathroom. Nostril in the bed. Nostril in the bed in the bathroom. Nostril energy!
For these next 2 shots, it's fairly simple. Here's what the original shot looked like. I knew that I wanted the hand to come in and match the hand pulling down. So with this in mind, we're gonna go ahead and go to the beginning of the clip. We're gonna hit our handy dandy keyframe button. Then we're gonna go all the way to the end, and we're gonna rotate it by 90 degrees. Then we're gonna zoom in till the clip fills the frame, and we're gonna move it up so that we match the top of the hand's position in this clip with the top of the hand's position in the next clip.
That sounds dangerous.
That's good enough for me. So now, going back to the beginning of the clip, we have this. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna go to the beginning, we're gonna go frame by frame, and we're gonna zoom in so that the clip fills the frame. And we're just gonna repeat this for the whole clip. Now after those keyframes, it's looking like this. On this next shot, all I did was zoom in and do a slow zoom out. So I start around 160, center up the hand, hit your keyframe, go all the way to the end of the clip, and let's say we ended at 130 to give us room to keep the hand right in the center. Now we're looking at something like this. And you can add a little stabilization to it to smooth it out even more. So now those 2 clips look like this. And it's pretty good. Let's add a little bit more flair to really drive home that impact of the hand punching the bag to help transition into the next pull down shot. So what we use for this is a little bit of fog, but I've colored it and I've speed ramped it to make it look like particle effects. So it almost looks like dust coming out of the bag when it hits. And the remaining fog helps carry that motion down when he pulls. I'm also gonna add another lens flare that I used before, and all this is linked in the description. Just mess around with it, play with it. It's not an exact science because these work differently with every single clip. Also, to really drive home the impact, sound design is key. This is it without sound design.
If you feel like,
And this is it with.
if you feel like,
Just by the sound, it feels like a lot more energy is behind that punch. So for that sound design, I actually used everything in Final Cut. So I'll scroll through here and you can see what I used. Oh yeah! Alright guys, so that's about it. Those are the 5 clips different techniques manually, no plugins. We don't do that here. That's a plugin, buy plugins, dev on them plugins. We do not need that. We do not know that. We don't understand what that is. No plugins here, all natural, just like I said. Anyway, super easy, super fun. Just make sure that you nail those camera movements. That's the most important part about life, getting those camera movements. Yeah, so tune in next time when I show you how to fold a hamster while riding a unicycle.